8,000 years ago, someone died in the Stone Age. Their bones should have been all that remained. But when archaeologists opened the skull, they froze. Inside, they didn't just find bone, they found something soft. Something that looks terrifyingly like a human brain, still preserved after nearly 8,000 years. How is that even possible? And what hidden secrets of the past could it reveal?
The skull itself was dated to around 5,900 BCE, almost 8,000 years ago. Think about that for a moment. Before cities, before writing, long before the world we know today, someone lived and died, and their skull lay buried beneath layers of earth. Bones can survive this long, that part isn't shocking. But the brain? Soft tissue usually vanishes quickly after death. Within days, bacteria and oxygen begin breaking it down. Within weeks, it is gone forever. And yet somehow, in this ancient skull, something survived. Something that should not be there. Scientists were stunned. If this really is brain tissue, it would be one of the oldest ever discovered. But more than the age, it's the mystery of how it survived that terrifies and fascinates researchers. What kind of conditions allowed something so fragile to last through the rise and fall of civilizations, through storms, winters, and millennia of decay? Was it the chemistry of the soil? Was it some unusual burial practice? Or was it something even stranger that we don't yet understand? To put this into perspective, other preserved brains have been found before, but they are much younger. The Heslington Brain in England, for example, is about 2,600 years old. Scientists marveled at how well that one was preserved, with proteins still intact. In Florida, the Windover Archaeological Site revealed brains over 7,000 years old, astonishingly well kept in peat bogs. But 8,000 years? That pushes the limits of possibility. If true, this Norwegian skull would be the oldest preserved brain matter in Europe, and maybe the world. But here's where the story gets even curious. The archaeologists themselves are cautious. They know how dangerous it is to jump to conclusions. Some are saying the substance could just be mineral deposits, or soil that took on the texture of brain tissue. Others argue it might belong to an animal, not a human at all. Still, the resemblance is too uncanny to ignore, and scientists are now preparing a series of tests, microscopic studies, chemical analysis, maybe even attempts at DNA recovery. If any genetic material is still locked inside, it could provide a direct link to the Stone Age, a whisper from a person who lived in a world we can only imagine. Think of the possibilities. If DNA is found, it might reveal what diseases existed back then, what people ate, how they adapted to their harsh environments. It might even answer questions about our own genetic evolution. But at the same time, it opens doors to eerie thoughts. Because if one brain can survive 8,000 years, how many others might be lying beneath the earth, silent and waiting to be found? How much of human history is still preserved in ways we never believed possible? The unsettling part is that discoveries like this blur the line between past and present. When we imagine people who lived thousands of years ago, we usually see only their bones, skeletons stripped of humanity. But a brain, something so intimate, something that once held thoughts, memories, dreams, that brings them frighteningly close. This wasn't just a skull. This was once a person who thought, who felt, who lived. And somehow, a part of them refuses to disappear. Scientists admit the find makes them uneasy, not because of superstition, but because it challenges the laws of biology they've trusted for centuries. Nature is supposed to work in predictable ways. Flesh decays, memories fade. The brain is the first to go. Yet here, against all odds, it seems to have stayed behind. That is what unsettles researchers. Not just the survival of the tissue, but what it implies about everything we think we know regarding life and death. For now, the skull is being studied carefully, piece by piece. Maybe the tests will confirm it as brain matter, or maybe they will dismiss it as a quirk of soil and minerals. Either way, the discovery has already sparked a wave of curiosity and a shiver of fear. Because whether or not this is truly a brain, the mere possibility forces us to confront a haunting question. What else is hidden in the earth? What secrets of flesh and memory are still buried in the shadows of time? One skull, 8,000 years, and possibly a brain that should not exist. It is not just science, it is mystery, it is fear, it is wonder, and it leaves us with one thought. Perhaps the past isn't as dead as we believe.